Hello, I'm Luke Scott, one of the co-founders of Vastech, and you're watching Luke's Guide to Rocketry. Well, in this glorious first episode, we're going to look at what is probably the most key important part in a model rocket, and that is the engine. This here, if you just hold it up to the camera, there, is a model rocket motor. This is actually one of the smallest you can buy. This is what's known as an A83. A very small, by standards, model rocket motor that is reasonably, it's kind of all-rounder. Not that much thrust, and doesn't burn for that long. In fact, it burns for 0.7 seconds, for you geeks out there want to know. And if I remember rightly, it gives off 3.2 newtons of thrust on average. Just in case you wanted to know that. So the thing with the A83 is you would choose it if you have a very small rocket, like this, which is the first rocket we ever made. This is the Skyrocket. Unfortunately, I don't have any footage of the launch of that, so I can't show you any of that. I might be able to recover it somewhere. But yeah, this is missing its nose cone, unfortunately. It's kind of taken apart. Because I also teach rocketry at cadets, and it's... yeah, I got this got damaged because I launched it January 2017, and it crashed 3 times and someone broke it on the bus as well. Yeah. Right, back. I'm going off topic. Anyway, motors. Say you're looking for something a bit more powerful. You might want to go up to D class, which is a very, very high-powered class of rocket motor. You've got the D12, which is the most powerful rocket motor you can buy if you're under 18 and don't have a license. You can get licenses, but they're quite finicky, and I might cover that in another video. The D12 gives off 5.2 newtons of thrust and burns for 1.9 seconds, which doesn't sound that long, but that's a lot. And in case you don't know, I've got another video hopefully coming out about the Orion project, which is Brandon and I's new, multi-stage booster rocket, which is going to hopefully fly to 250 meters, or 200, depending on how much weight we put in it. But that is powered by a D12 as one of the engines on the first stage. So, if you're starting off, I recommend looking for a motor called the B6 or the C11, depends on what you're looking at. If you have a small rocket, that's roughly an A long and weighs under 100 grams, I would use a B6 motor or a B44 motor. You might know the B44 from our nanite video, and you saw how that ended because the nanite was damaged. So yeah, that's the B44. And if you're beginning, if you want a big kind of, boost, then I would look at using clusters. So it's basically multiple rockets put together in like a ring. So say you had one of these, and then you had another one and another one, like that, but like 3 of them, kind of like boosh, boosh, boosh. Once you've done that, you've got 3 times the thrust. The problem with that is you need to think about the weight and the size of the tube you're going to put it in. Now the problem is, you can put them on the outside instead of on the inside. That's another thing we do with the Orion. We've got a large motor in the middle and 2 small ones on the outside. So you've got those. I'm going to cover now what a rocket motor is made up of. So, at the end you have the clay plug. That's what that grey is there, if you just see it on the camera. There's the clay. That's what that is. It's grey. That hole in the middle is where the flame would come out of. Up to about here, where the masking tape is, there, that's where the fuel goes up to. And then, depending on the number, for example, A83, that 3 at the end is how long it gives off like a smoke trail before pushing out the parachute, which is a little gunpowder charge, sits on top of the fuel. That overall will be a rocket motor, and you probably end up with about that much space in the end, just for leverage. Different motors have different thrusts. For example, the Orion is using a D12 0. That 0 at the end means it basically fires and then pushes out a parachute. But in this case, instead of pushing out a parachute, it turns on another engine, which looks something like this. I'll cover that in another video, multi-staging. It's a complicated concept. So yeah, I think I have a blueprint here for a rocket. No, I don't, sorry. The thing with motors is, a lot of people say, oh, they're like fireworks, they're dangerous, they could explode. Thing is, they are one of the safest kinds of explosive you can buy, which kind of sounds contradictory. But the thing with rocket motor is the only way it can come out is out either end. And if it comes out this end, it comes out really less powerful. And if it comes out that end, it's just like a puh, like a smoke, like a puh, like a cough, but like an engine doing a cough. And if the only problem with this is when you're transporting them, you need to be careful, because the grey bit at the end, if that got cracks in it, then the flame will come out the cracks at the same time, and that can cause the engine to burn quite inefficiently. Have a look up for a D12 rocket disaster. Search that up on YouTube. It's quite interesting. Where someone at night they had one of these, and the clay kind of cracked and it went flew everywhere. So yeah, that's basic motors. I might be covering more complex stuff about them, but that's the basics of a rocket motor. They can range from anything. For example, you can beyond D, you can get some very powerful rocket motors, all the way up to O. I think is maybe the biggest we can legally buy in the world without being like a massive rocketry expert, like working for NASA or something. And O is this long. Let me just like back away, like bigger. There we go, about that long. That's over a meter, and about that wide. There, just so you can see there. They produce so much thrust, and if you want to send a model rocket to space, that's what they use. They basically pull out all the innards and jam it up. Yeah, that sounds wrong, but yeah. These things are incredibly powerful, incredibly hard to get hold of, and you usually have to get them custom made. Very expensive as well. You're looking at nearly £100 for one of these. You can go back down to a G motor, which is more powerful than a D, obviously. Which you have to be over 18 in the UK to be able to purchase, but you can purchase them without a licence as long as you're over 18. G motors give off quite a fair bit of kick. The average they can burn for 2 seconds right up to 5 seconds, which is a long time in rocketry standards, and then they can delay up to 6 seconds drifting up. Yeah, they're pretty cool, and they're weird because they're like in a plastic case. As a whole, model rocket motors vary massively, and if you want to have a look at something, check out the website called Thrust Curve, right? And go to Model Rocket browser guide or rocket guide or whatever, and you'll find loads of motors, and it'll give you the list and the stats, how long they burn for, how much thrust they give out, and what they're made of, and who they're made by, and where you can buy them, stuff like that. So yeah, that was Model Rocket's basic curve rocket motors. So this has been Luke's Guide to Rocketry. Subscribe for more madness, and I'll be back. Peace.